Tanya pushes a whole battalion on her once. They unload a barrage of bullets, but she dodges them easily. She goes in for the kill of the commander, but his top glazer gives his life away from him. Pause. This gotta be the ugliest man I've ever seen. He looks like if Ice JJ Fish and Hog Rider had a baby. Even Clav couldn't fix this guy. Look at this deranged baby child straight cheesing after turning his body into smithereens. Bro, he is stressing. Tanya flanks them and hits a trick shot like FaZe Adapt in 2014. She flies straight to the top and turns on proximity chat.
You guys are trash. Surrender now, please.
Too proud to admit defeat, Tanya turns on her admin abuse, makes a prayer to God, and channels all this power into her rifle and completely booms her. I'll explain this weird power system later on, I promise. But first, let me talk some backstory. Surprisingly, this anime is actually an Isekai. Yeah, I know, I didn't expect that either. Tanya used to be this guy. Yeah, this guy. Basically, he was an arrogant little who worked in corporate Japan.
Please, I just bought a haircut on finance. That shit gonna be like $575 for life. How am I supposed to stunt on these fools?
Logically, the only thing you can do in this situation is push him in front of a train. That's when time stops. And no, it's not because of Dio, but it's this universe's god. Basically saying, yo, why ain't you pray to me and shit? This absolute sped with zero survival instincts starts arguing with him. So he's like, I bet I'ma reincarnate you and force you into gratitude. Also, your shaboyoins, yeah, they're gone. And thus began the legend of Tanya Degurechaff. Basically, she wants to speedrun to an easy life in this new world she's in. So Tanya joins the army as a child prodigy mage. The power system is a multifaceted and integrated. It's spells and guns. Like sometimes they put the spells into the guns, and sometimes it's regular blickies. I didn't really get it, to be honest. Oh, and the god is on some insane pettiness. Like you'd think he was the little girl. He tries making Tanya pray to him, but she doesn't. So he quite literally forces her. She gets access to some experimental tech, and it only works if she makes a prayer to him every single time. Anyways, she climbs the ranks pretty fast, becoming the MVP in every battle she's deployed on. Her country, I'm just gonna call it the Empire, is at war with neighboring countries, and it's borderline about to become a world war soon. But Tanya is unhinged. She was genuinely about to gut one of her trainees because of a mistake. If bro was not there, it would have been over for him. During a routine patrol mission, they see enemy forces are pushing deeper into their territory. Just like KSI's hairline, they're trying to take as much real estate as possible. She makes callouts, and her side cannons absolutely pepper the other side. I want you to remember this guy and two words: Nemesis system. They launch a surprise attack on Tanya, but she uses Freerun-esque defensive magic to block and zooms away. Bro brought his entire faction to jump her. Tanya calls for backup, but these bums say no one is going to arrive for 10 minutes and decline her request to retreat. So she starts manically laughing to herself. You already know some crazy shit is about to go down. Tanya charges straight at them, block 2 shots and exploding one of them. They skate past each other and she outspeeds their next shots, managing to pick one of them on the fly. Hockey rules, they run a respectable 1v1. The two clash, but Tanya gets a quicker turnaround, holding a smile so devious she makes a grown man, a soldier who spent years training, flinch. Then she booms him, making him look like an underground lab experiment. They send more backup, and it's not looking good for Tanya. 3 soldiers push in from behind and begin shooting. This is the type of bullshit the Detroit survival training guy would swear he could get out of. Running out of ammo, you'd think it was over. Wrong. She drops down and curb stomps the guy from below. Mind you, this guy made the call out that she was out of ammo, and she just charged him like this. Popping out of nowhere, she latches onto this guy and whispers into his ear, "Subscribe to Sushi." She basically makes herself into a bomb, exploding herself and the guys near her. This guy's like, why the hell would she do that? Psych! That was all part of a plan, making it look like she fought heroically so she can get an easy placement as a reward to live an easy life. It's like how guys used to shoot themselves in the foot to get discharged. Her plan, however, does not go exactly to plan. She gets given a Medal of Honor, sure, but once she recovers, another reward she gets is to test out this classified prototype weapon. Basically, it's ass and keeps blowing up on her till Being X comes in freezing time, saying, yeah, if you want this shit to work, you gotta make a prayer to me every time. Imagine having to to glaze the guy who took your shiboyoins just in order to use your powers. Over the next couple of months, Tanya is basically chilling at university and could have had an easy life away from the war zones. But she royally screws up and runs into this guy. He's some high-ranking officer. He invites her into his office and they speak about the war. She talks a bit too much and gives a bright idea of creating a highly mobile mage battalion team that could easily move around and assist in needed battles. He gets her to write a formal report on it, and Tanya thought she made a good connection with someone on the strategic intelligence department. But the dumbass didn't realize she created a massive headache for herself. So she's basically forced into leading this entire mage battalion, whose whole job is to move from battle to battle constantly. She's dragging out the recruitment process by making the requirements ridiculous and having it sound as buns as possible. But there's hella tryhards in this country, so she gets a surprisingly amount of applicants. The officials get anxiety and say, hey, wrap this shit up, and that she only has 1 month to train them up to standard. So Tanya puts her recruits through hell, starting off by taking them to the middle of Siberia and blowing up their luggage, and drops it on them that the artillery squad will be target practicing right where they're at, and they must survive 36 hours and can't use any defensive magic. Hitler's daughter is just doing this to mess with them, but it gets worse. They have to trek across the Arctic without using any magic. Who knows how many miles this stretches. Clearly got the same teacher mindset as Fletcher from Whiplash. This guy has had enough and lets out a warrior scream. Do you guys remember those scammers who were charging people like 10k to scream in some woods? I don't know why I remembered that, but it just pissed me off. Anyways, his scream causes an avalanche and he damn near murks the entire squad. Tanya goes in and looks like she's genuinely whooping on a dead person. Even her assistant's like, yo, chill. But really, she knocks the snow they've ingested. Somehow, this instills newfound respect into her recruits. And instead of quitting like she wants them to, so she doesn't have to leave the battalion, their resolve hardens and they keep it pushing. And so begrudgingly, she tells them they have all successfully passed and are officially her mage battalion. Their first test has got to be the biggest mismatch ever. We're talking Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua level. The nation of Dokia are majorly underdeveloped. These dumbasses are broadcasting all their plans through an open source channel without encrypting it, basically telling the enemy their every move. On top of that, they have no air defense. This is like going against that one bullshit Lava Loon Dragon deck from a couple of years ago. As expected, it's an absolute cakewalk for them, and they destroy them pretty handily. It gets so easy for them, they have a competition to see which squad can take out a specific amount of soldiers. This reminds me of that one time the Takeo middle school basketball team violated these plebs by going for an exact score in a real game. Pretty sure it made Kuroko's homeboy quit basketball. After defeating the army, Tanya decides, why stop here? Let's continue forward, and pushes her squadron into the enemy city. And she is genuinely about to commit an actual war crime here, stating as per international wartime law, they must warn a civilian area before attacking. So this devil broadcasts her voice over the town using her childlike voice, saying, hey, we're gonna boom you now. Obviously, hearing a child say this, they're thinking she's trolling and ignore it. You see how this is about to get wicked. Releasing a barrage of magic-infused ballistics, demolishing the city. They all celebrate, acting like they didn't just body Timmy age 2. Strategic HQ are celebrating their win, as on paper they should not have won. The other nations are getting nervous and turn to neighboring countries for aid. Meanwhile, Tanya's battalion has been sent out on another excursion. The Empire is low-key getting bodied, even losing a commander. That's when Tanya comes in like a super sub to change the tide of the fight. HQ gets word code sign Pixie has entered the battle, and they're reporting they won't be needing backup. You know how disrespectful this is? It's like spamming GGs before a game even started. Tanya tells her second in command to take care of the mages, and she's gonna solo the bombers. I gotta say, I am so confused with how this flight works. Like, some people are flying around like Viltrumites. We got some using skis, horses, I don't understand. Anyways, they're like, how in the heck has she matched our altitude, and begin hailing gunfire at her. The only upside from becoming a lolly is that increased agility. She pulls up, posting up on the hood of her plane, dropping an explosive on their lap, bomber clotting the airplane, because that was their leader who she packed up. They all begin retreating. But you really think this spawn of the devil is about to let them leave like that? Her admin abuse kicks in just in time, and she gets a lock on all of them. But we gotta talk about this fuck-ass power system. She channels all duel her mana into a blicky, shoots a singular bullet from a regular gun, mind you. It somehow splits into multiple parts and homes in, taking everyone out. Tanya goes in to check if there's any stragglers left, but that's when Being X pauses time to speak with her. This has got to be the pettiest motherfucker of all time. He asks her if she's going to be a good little kitten or daddy is going to get mad. The other nations begin recognizing Tanya for the monster she is, giving her the nickname Devil of the Rhine. Most think she's a myth, but she wants to dispel those thoughts and booms them. She meets with high-ranking officers and is doing too good of a job, getting promoted and moved to even riskier positions. I want you to remember this soldier and his daughter, cause it's about to get wicked. She leaves her father to stay somewhere safe whilst this war continues, even gifting him a top-of-the-line SMG with their family crest engraved. You know you're really in the trenches when your baby daughter is gifting you a whole stick and no one bats an eye. Tanya is discussing strategy with the military, but the stubborn old man isn't listening. Anyways, the plan is to completely paralyze this neighboring country. They got a specific spot where they basically keep everything important for their military to continue functioning. It's protected with natural terrain and hella cannons. So because they think it's so untouchable, they've kind of relaxed, as there's no way anyone would try to attack their strongest area. So that's exactly what they're gonna do, taking them by surprise, destroying all their turrets in order for their naval forces to enter the territory. These guys probably thought they had the easiest job in the war, like them MPs in Attack on Titan before they all got slimed out. Before making their move, Tanya tells her squad if she dies during this mission, then pack her up and go home, buddy. If they get me, then what the hell are you guys gonna do? This must be what 2018 LeBron felt like. Cutting back to the enemy, they get hella notifications popping up stating they've lost all communication with their patrol ships. I'd be more scared if it was me. Like, what the hell do you mean all comms have been severed within our most secure compound? The only messages to being scarier than this is your girl texting you, "I'm so sorry and I love you" at 2:50 a.m. during her supposed girl trip. Then they hear kaboom in the distance and Tanya's elite hit squad is pouring in work, completely crippling the artillery towers. This guy right here, I forgot his name, but he is cold. Instead of panicking like everyone else, he's analyzing what their end goal is by doing this. This was how Markiplier was moving when Honey started sponsoring everyone on YouTube. The enemy sends their own hit squad to fight Tanya's, and just for some extra information as well, the Empire's poured everything into this attack. It's a max elixir push. If it don't work, then GG's. Not only is her squad significantly smaller than irregular units, but they've also had to split into two groups. Tanya's group taking on the enemy battle squad, and the other group finishing off the guns below. Anson's squad isn't doing so hot, and another one of his boys get kaboomed. They really need to fix up and improve their training. They're on the same level as Nigeria's military. He looks up into the sky, and like so many of our fallen brothers, a single snow bunny is the root of all his problems. We're about to see the highly anticipated rematch. The only other rematch that I was more excited about was the legendary Yamoth. Anson fires towards them, but they've got that through and defensive magic, blocking all that damage. Tanya's ride or die makes a flank and booms him, but he's not going outside. She sees her bum-ass squad can't deal with one guy and drops down to fight him. But just when they're about to begin, she gets told Company 2 has taken down all the defensive turrets, and she begins celebrating. You know how disrespectful this is? His point of view, he was about to initiate a boss fight, teeth clenched down and all, and Tanya had a weapon aimed at him but chose to emote on him. With their defense down, the Empire's naval force can easily get in, and these brothers know they are finished. And Anson looks on powerless, knowing he's in a hopeless situation. Now, there are two things a man can do when he's at a crossroads: accept it and do nothing, or accept it and take a bitch down with you. Woo! This is my goat right here. Sadly, another great man has joined the donut factory. And to add a little more disrespect, she takes the weapon his daughter bought from him. It's got his family crest and all. The Empire's forces seize the rest of the base, giving them a massive advantage in the war. They can now attack Bonnie Blue style from the front and the back. This is real life footage of KD's PR team when his Twitter got leaked. The War of Chirac. Basically, the locals have made their own rebel militia, fighting back against the occupying empire. And after taking what's theirs, they have received support further strengthening them. But just when you thought she couldn't get more evil, they have now decided to use Israeli tactics once again. They're going to give a quick notice to everyone living in the area to leave, and if they don't, they'll consider them hostile, kabooming the entirety of Chirac. Tanya's squad begins scouting the area but run straight into an ambush. They break off and she begins cooking, flying up to daze her pursuers and popping both of them. She makes the call out to make the fight close quarters, and it works straight away, causing the rest of them to regroup. Tanya stops her group from chasing them inside, as they've already completed their mission. By boxing the mages inside, there's no one to destroy the artillery strike, and so evil Gojo makes the call, raining down hellfire onto Chirac. But guess what? Our goat is back. Despite getting gutted like a fish, he's somehow alive, and it looks like Being X has decided to bless Anson with the same power as Tanya. This guy is too petty. This reminds you of a nemesis system in the Middle Earth games. Alright, lock in. Despite having success in these battles, they've realized, just like Kim K's ass, this is not sustainable, and they need to cripple the opposition fast. So these crafty buggers have infiltrated propaganda into neighboring countries, stating the Empire actually lost the Battle of Chirac and are desperate, deciding to launch a last-ditch attempt to win by attacking head-on. But just like ladyboys in Thailand, you have been fooled. Their actual mission is to attack the enemy's communication headquarters to put them into complete disarray. And how are they going to bypass the enemy without them realizing, you ask? Missiles. But what if you put humans inside the missiles? Yeah, that's their plan. And to be fair, it works exactly as planned. They jump out the missiles, letting them land. That distracts the enemy, thinking it's a normal strike, letting Tanya's squad sneak in and destroy their communication HQ. In the background, these old heads are telling the military of the Empire that they're messing up, but the military kept this operation classified till they've completed it, and they've completely switched up. And guess what? This hezi is just the first part of their extended plan. Just like your hairline, the enemy forces have continued pushing forward, even bringing reinforcements. Bear in mind, they still believe the Empire is about to launch a desperate assault, so these bozos think after this they will end the war. But under where they're stationed, they've put hella explosives, completely blasting them. And just like Kira won't miss on Twitter, this guy is having the worst day of his life, barely surviving Chirac, and then he witnesses this. They try contacting HQ to send backup, but the Empire's already destroyed it. The enemy is in complete and utter shambles. This is the exact same face I made when I first saw LaMelo Ball's fuck-ass tattoo. While overlooking the skies, they go and sneak my boy here. He was the only one who had any ounce of sympathy for the war in Chirac, and they make him go out sad. And who's behind this, you ask? Our goat Anson. He's rivaling Danny Slice as best villain of this year. Let's get straight into the main event of this battle. Anson pops out from the clouds trying to backdoor Tanya, but she Euro steps out the way. For Being X gave this guy some insane type of shotgun. Tanya has the audacity to complain, talking about this weapon is a treaty violation. They try backing her up from behind, but this guy must have been training with Chloe Kim, hitting a flip and dropping a hail strike. Tanya powers up and the two begin going at it. I gotta say, this show's camera angles and animations are so fire. Using the smoke as cover, Anson covers a gap. But that doesn't matter to Tanya. She spin kicks a weapon from his hand, pulls out a knife UK style, and stabs him in the chest. I'm so happy to see some British representation being shown here. You'd think the fight would be over here, but this is exactly why you don't mess with a man who has nothing to lose. This psychopath purposely took the knife hit to grab Tanya so he could explode himself. Nah, this wasn't even like Data or Sasuke situation. Bro did not need to do that at all. Yo, I just realized he's got a wife and kid at home. What is bro doing? That's when Tanya's number 2 pulls through and shoots Anson, allowing her to get away from him. Do you know how disrespectful this is? Tanya uses the gun his daughter gifted to him to unload a clip on him, but somehow he firms 20 direct bullets to his body and hits for self-destruction. Absolute insanity. If he took her out, I wouldn't mind. The enemy sees the Empire's reinforcements have arrived and decide to retreat. Alright, this bitch is unkillable. The war is over, kind of. The enemy has withdrawn from their own capital, letting the Empire march in, giving them significant or basically total control of their country. But Tanya can sense something is off. I'll be real, at this point, my brain was fried. I did not know what was going on. She tries to get approval to attack their naval ships, because in the future it could be used to launch a counterattack, further extending the war. But the Speds aren't listening. She knows. She knows. She knows. To put it in chess terms, the Empire could checkmate the Republic any way they want and end it, but they are blinded by glory and are just promoting pawns into queens. Like for instance, marching a significant amount of troops into their capital when all enemy opposition has left, so they have no need to send all that. With their lack of foresight, they're going to stalemate and cause a game too. The Republic are now able to flee to another country, joining forces and strengthening themselves to be able to fight the Empire once again. They could have stopped this by crippling them, but they don't. And obviously the neighboring neutral countries aren't just going to let the Empire keep expanding. They thought their power would incite cowardice to those countries, but instead it did the opposite, resulting in a world war. We get a little tease of Anson's daughter, Sue, joining the army and also getting powered by Being X. And do not worry, kiddo, I will be covering the movie next if this does well. I appreciate you making it to the end. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.